Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Sorry. um, Thank you for watching. Thank you for those who subscribe. Thank you for you guys who continue to come back and watch my content. I'm extremely grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all. All right, let's get into it. So, the video yesterday, I went to work. My first customer was a female, and of course she's a female, but she was some type of priestess. When she wrote her name down, she wrote Apostle Darlene, because when she told me that she was some type of priestess or something, whatever she said she was, I asked her a question about spiritual attack. I don't know. I was just guided to ask her. And even though I don't believe in the whole cult of religion, I do understand that there are people of the cloth who can still be of help. Like, I am not closed off to the people of the cloth being helpful as far as words and advice and things of that nature. So I asked her about the spiritual attack, and she told me it has something to do with my lack of forgiveness. And y'all know how I feel about forgiveness. Like, I don't feel anything when I say I forgive someone for blah, 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 blah. I don't feel no different. I have been trying to do this for 15 plus years now. I forgive so-and-so for doing bop, 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 bop to me. I've written this down. I just, a month or two ago when I was reading from my books, one of the first people I was forgiving was myself and another male who did harm to me. So I'm aware that this thing of forgiveness is supposed to do something, but I feel like it does something for the other person in the spirit realm versus me. I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm like this perfect being who's never done anything wrong to anyone, who's never caused any type of heartache or turmoil. But what I can say is that I didn't purposely do these things. If you did something to me and I retaliated in a way that caused you any type of pain, discomfort, or anything, then that's just what it was. I don't intentionally do things to harm people and be like, oh, I should be forgiven because I just went out here and did such and such and such and such to somebody, so I should be forgiven. Like, I really try to be careful of the things that I do. Have I been perfect? Hell no. Hell no. Ain't nobody over here like that. It's not, no. But a lot of the things that I've done to people was me retaliating. What's my retaliation right now? I probably could have walked away. I probably could have handled things differently. A whole bunch of this and that and the third, right? But most of the people' life that I entered, their life went up for the better, not down. If it went down, that's because you was doing something bad to me and I had to cut you off. And then your lack of access to my energy created a downward spiral for you. That's how that go. But I'm just not that type of person, and I never been. And I'm so tired of being misunderstood. I've been misunderstood by family. They tell me my stories from my past is not real. The things that I've experienced as a child, I'm lying about. I am so tired of being misunderstood. I am so tired of having to explain the big sister plight to my younger siblings. Like, if you're not an older sibling, then you don't understand what an older sibling has to go through. And it's so frustrating that you can literally look this up. Like, if you cared enough, you could literally look up the effects of what happens to an elder sibling when her parents abandon her, when she has to feel responsible for her kids, for her siblings, for the lack of cleanliness of the home, the lack of food in the home, having to steal from my parents' pockets to go to the store to feed my siblings, having to change my siblings' diapers. We all slept in the same bed. They peed on me. Like... And then we get to foster care. And then my number one goal once we got to foster care was to be the best child I could be. I didn't want to cause no problems. I didn't want to cause my foster mom no problems. So I went to school and I was the best of the best of the best, sir. I was the best of the best of the best in everything. I was the top of my class. I was the smartest in everything. Because I wanted my parents. I thought that if I was to do that it would bring my parents back to me. I thought that if I was a good child, that I would receive the love that I've never received. I thought that I had to prove myself and my worthiness to receive love. Even from my foster parent and my grandfather. Like, I felt like if I was a bad child, or I got bad grades and all of these things, then I wouldn't be loved. So to have my sibling, one of the closest siblings that I have, who over the years have been my, basically like my low-key therapist. She's my best friend, and she does not understand that the toll of the big sister, what it does on the human psyche, and how it stagnates your decision making. How, if your life is FAFO because you had no guidance, right? You had no guidance. You had little to no guidance because you're the eldest. Who is above you that's helping you? Who is above you that's guiding you and helping you make the right decisions? Nobody. By the time I became a teenager, my foster mom was too old to be hands-on. My grandfather was too old to be hands-on. So I was pretty much self-motivated. Nobody motivated me. My grandfather probably says every so often how important it is to get good grades and be in school or whatever. But him and my foster mom was always working. It was always gone. There was nobody helped me with my homework. Nobody told me I need to go, if I had to go to after school class to pick up what I didn't know. There was none of that. Everything that I did, I had to discover on my own. And nobody understands, like when you in this bubble and nobody understands you and all they see is your accomplishments. Oh, because you did so great in elementary school. You were in the GATE program. In elementary school, you were in the GATE program. In middle school, you were in the National Honor Society. In high school, you did all of these things. All people see is your accomplishments. And that's what I just heard her say in the message to me when I'm trying to tell her my plight of me and why it's so hard for me to let go of what my parents put me through. It's hard for me to let that shit go, bro. I've been trying for many, many years. I understand that my parents had the human experience. I understand that them going into the military probably left some type of trauma on them that led them to addiction, right? But through their addiction, they brought children into the world, right? Through the addiction, they brought children to the world. And instead of, even if you, because there are some people who are addicted who keep their children in their life. They don't just abandon their children. They keep their children in their life, right? Some of them clean themselves up, some of them don't. But they don't abandon their children. They don't just leave them off to foster care, and then you in foster care, and then the social service system is not giving them money, so you eating at soup kitchens and shit, and you getting teased at school because you don't have the clothes to wear, because your clothes is too small. You're constantly getting talked about, even though you're the smartest in the class. You're getting teased for that. You're getting teased for every time you raise your hand, and nobody has your back. Nobody has your back. What parent could I call? What sibling could I call? It was all on me. So, of course, I turned 18 and made fucked up decisions that ruined my life. Of course. The foundation was fucked up. All that shit I accomplished in high school was to bring my parents back to me and my sisters. It was a way of trying to be the best person I could be, because I thought that would bring my parents back. And then when I realized that I did all of that shit, and my father still married somebody else with 3 children that he raised while we stayed in foster care. My mother married another man and stayed out the state. It didn't, lack of communication. My dad did try. Once he got married, he became a little bit more active. He would see us on the weekends. He was a weekend dad, but we was always at competition with the siblings. He got a house. We didn't have a room in the house. There was no room for us in the house. We didn't have our own room. We didn't even have a bed. So it's like, all of that shit that I did to try to bring my parents back, it did the opposite. So here we are now, and I'm trying to release this shit before 2027, because I don't want to take it into 2027. And I'm really trying to find the space to let this go. Like, I've talked to my parents. I got both sides of the story. I've been trying to be like, okay, I understand where the breakdowns happen. But after the first child, then you bring another child. Then you bring another child. And you in addiction, and y'all fighting, and y'all fussing. And then all of that shit come on me. And it wasn't supposed to have no type of effect. I wasn't supposed to have... What? I never felt like nobody had my back, bro. I got banked in 2nd grade for being smart, for raising my hand, for knowing the answers to the questions. Boys and girls stomped me out. I'm balled up in the floor. That's not supposed to leave no trauma. But because I put on the facade of being this great person and having all of these accolades and accomplishing all of this shit in elementary through high school, because that's where it stopped at. Once I became an adult and I went to school, I did receive accolades through school and some through work and shit like that. But I always bust my ass. Like, do people not understand that shit came from me busting my ass? Like, you don't just... Some skills I probably came into the realm with, right? But a lot of this shit was cultivated. My younger siblings ain't do that shit. They didn't cultivate skills. They didn't go away to colleges and universities and shit. I signed up for everything. I was in Upward Bound. I was in College Bound. I worked part-time at Burger King, at cafes. I developed my personality by working hard and busting my ass to become the person I am today. And people look at that like, oh, you should be over the shit from the past because look at how much shit you accomplished. First of all, I'm a Capricorn. Triple Capricorn. Sun, moon, and Mercury. I was born to bust my ass. That's just first and foremost. And then given the shit that I was given as a kid and still being able to bust my ass. That was my soul. I was born this way. But I still had to bust my ass. I still had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, get my shit together, be at school by 7:30 for ROTC practice, go to school all day, after school, ROTC practice, SGA, what else I was in? So much shit. Y'all, if I go get my yearbook, I could tell y'all all the shit I was in high school. And then still work. So I would get off, we would get out of school, I'm done school about 4 o'clock, 4:30, walking down to Burger King, going to work my shift from 5 to 11, getting off. We had to close the store up, clean up. We really did our jobs back then. So we ain't leave out the store till almost 1 o'clock in the morning. One of my managers may drop me off. If I didn't have no ride, I caught a hack at 16. I'm catching a fucking hack up the street, or I'm walking in Park Heights and Ricestown Road. Walking home, getting in the bed, and doing that shit all over again. 5 days a week. If I could tell y'all, I might make a video about all the fucking shit I was doing in high school. Still maintaining some good grades, being in the National Honor Society, being in MESA, MESA. Like, so much shit, y'all. I tried so much shit in high school. Meanwhile, my siblings ain't get into no activities in high school. Grades was not the best. They didn't work hard. They settled for less. So, of course, when you live the life, she even told me a couple days ago that she would switch places with me in a heartbeat besides the past 10 years of my life when I lost my baby father. She don't want that. She don't want that trauma when I lost my baby father up till now, who I've become. She don't want that. But she want all the accolades and shit, not knowing half the shit that I went through to get that shit that I got. Going through heartbreak, trauma, niggas playing with me constantly. Just a lot. People don't understand. And I'm so tired of being misunderstood. I told her I'm not even gonna have these conversations with her no more. I'm gonna just talk to a therapist or y'all. I'm not gonna have these conversations with her no more because people just don't understand. And they act like they can't do research to understand. There's so much research out here on the big sisters and how this shit affects the life and everything. Like, if they really wanted to know, they could do that research, but they're not. They don't even watch my videos. My siblings don't watch my videos. They don't support my channel. So, I'm literally, and when I tell y'all, I'm in this motherfucker by myself. And that particular sibling has been my biggest supporter, my biggest fan, my biggest cheerleader. Just the person that I could turn to for almost anything. But was it genuine? Is it genuine? Or is it jealousy? Y'all let me know in the comments. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Deuces.